I want to support the resolution or the amendment being proposed by Senator Boyan. And I just want to make a couple of general observations. One of the things that perhaps has been accentuated by the pandemic, but certainly has been happening for some time before the pandemic, is a change in people's general access to information. At one level, you can say the internet provides massive access to information in that you can, from your living room, consult any plan you want to see. And you can look at it in detail, and you can, if you're provided with the facilities, feed in your reaction to it without difficulty to whoever is holding the consultation. That's all very well at one level, but there's another level at which I think we have to recognise that the use of newspapers, and printed newspapers in particular, is in decline right across the country. The younger generation, I know myself, are inclined not to subscribe to newspapers and don't consider themselves ill-informed for not doing it. Some of them subscribe online, others go to news sites and all the rest of it. But the notion that was there at one stage, and that was that local government could consult with the community by putting an ad in a newspaper and saying that the Mullingar bypass is going to be built and you can look at plans here or there, or alternatively that the Dublin City Development Plan is available for inspection at a particular place or time. That notion that by placing an advertisement in a newspaper you discharge your responsibility to involve the public is wrong. And I mean, with the greatest respect to local authority members as well, elected local authority members, they, some of them are more energetic than others, but they aren't really in a position to bring to the attention of people living in a locality of what is being actually proposed and the differences, the changes that are actually being proposed by the plan, and to bring to them the debate on the plan in a coherent way. And the reason I mention all of this is it strikes me, and in recent times I've been going public myself on the whole idea of the need to consult with people on traffic changes in Dublin, bus connects and new bicycle lanes layouts and new one-way street patterns and new restrictions on vehicular traffic and the like. Most people are not aware of these things unless they are brought to their attention by a leaflet through the door. I mean, most people do not rummage around anymore at the back of the Irish Times or the back of the Irish Independent to see some notice of a bylaw. Most people do not, I can't generalise, but most people, I believe, do not spend their time scouring Dublin City Council websites to see what's happening next. Our national news and media and our broadcast news and media do not bring these things to the attention of people in the way they used to. And even our political organisations have changed. I was once Gareth Fitzgerald's director of organisation in Dublin South East, and I think we had 11 or 14 branches. I've forgotten exactly how many. But one of my pleasant duties was to attend a monthly branch meeting for between 8 and 10 months of the year for each branch. And I used to arrange it that I'd group them together so that the Sandymount branch, the Ringsend branch and the Irishtown branch would meet not together, but at the same night so that I could hop between the three of them. But one of the things about that was that in those days, which really was sort of two-channel TV land, you know, maybe between 12 and 18 people would attend a branch meeting, listen to the minutes and the correspondence. The local authority member would turn up, and there'd be a discussion. There'd be feedback. There'd be actual face-to-face feedback between a local authority member and the political organisation and the people in a locality who were of a particular political belief, and an occasion on which they could consider issues such as that. And I'm not trying to turn the clock back. I do not believe you will get between 12 and 20 people into the back of a pub anymore. Senator Fitzpatrick probably knows the intricacies of the common system in Fianna Fáil better than I do, but I think that certainly on my side of the city, and I wouldn't say it's so much I'd say that in large measure all of those political organisations have shrivelled to a paper existence now, and whether it's in Fianna Fáil, the Córa Dáil Ceantar, or in Fine Gael, the constituency executive, or whatever it is, these are the organisations that actually run political parties. You know, you don't have the such and such branch meeting regularly in the way you used to. And you can't turn the clock back on that. People have different things to do with their lives. People have different ways of spending their time. It was a social outing to go to a common meeting 30 years ago, or a branch meeting. Now you'd need to have a celebrity guest speaker to get 30 people into a room in the back of a pub, even if a publican pub was open, which it isn't at the moment, or even if indeed if the local pubs still had those rooms available for those kind of functions. So life has moved on. Now what I'm really anxious about is this, is that whatever we do with planning and development and the day-to-day activities of local authorities, that we reinforce on local authorities a real duty to communicate precisely what they are proposing. So if they're going to put 2 new cycle lanes down Ranelagh and in some particular way, and if it's going to have an effect on making some bits of Ranelagh restricted for ordinary traffic, that all the people involved are informed directly of this by a local authority. There's nothing wrong with actually having to do what all of these commercial businesses and pizza delivery services do, and that's leaflet people and tell them what you are actually proposing to do. And again, you know, when it comes to consultation, I fully accept what Deputy Fitzpatrick says, that it's very easy for a small group, or Senator Fitzpatrick says, it's very easy for a small group of people to dominate a meeting with their item of the agenda, and other people who might have totally different concerns can hardly get a word in edgeways. And therefore, I don't think that Senator Boyan's amendment is designed to make the case that public meetings are the only means of consultation. But I know from the Metrolink project that, you know, real consultations with questions and answers don't really work in that context. There were very elaborate displays and videos and things like that on display as part of the Metrolink public consultation process. But when you actually ask the nitty-gritty, how long will the green Lewis line be out of action if this happens? You're looked at as if you're asking how long is a piece of string. Basic question and answer kind of information is not available in some respects. So I would just be very, very concerned that we are allowing local government, which is hugely important, to be washed aside by the transformation of a means of communication in the modern age. I really do believe that the old idea that there were people there who would draw matters to people's attention, that even that residents' associations are the draw they used to be, they're not. In a large measure, there were times when you'd see 120 people at a residents' AGM. I remember attending some of them and being surprised by the size of the turnout at them. And it's very, very difficult for volunteers to keep that level of activity up and engagement up. And I take my hat off to people who, on a voluntary basis, try to participate in the consultative process. But my fear is this, that in cutting off obligations on the part of local authorities, even if it is part of addressing different opportunities to communicate, that we are reducing we are reducing what should be at a minimum, and that is the opportunity to have a public voice-to-voice explanation of what's going on, and that there should be some participation by the public at such events. So that's why I support the amendment.